chose to do my second creative product on evolution and natural selection. Evolution is the change of characteristics of a species over time. It is gradual and very slow. It happens over generations, even multiple generations. In the 18th century, ideas of evolution were reintroduced by George Louis Leclerc, and Charles Darwin is technically the father of evolution. Although there were many people who had many different opinions and ideas about evolution, Charles Darwin is the father. Just a few examples of evolution are the peppered moth. It was light colored before the Industrial Revolution, and after the Industrial Revolution, it had darkened due to pollution that had grown. The Italian wall lizard, it was taken from where it was, put on an island, and when they got to that island, it was different from what they had been used to before. They had shifted their diet to being mainly vegetarians, and this caused a change in their head size, and they adapted a stronger bite. Darwin's finches is one we've all heard of, I'm assuming, but they all had different beak sizes, as you can see in the pictures here, depending on what they needed their beaks for, eating and different things. Natural selection. Natural selection is organisms adapt to their environment in order to survive. Just a couple causes of this adaptation are predators, the scarcity of food, and what I mean by that is when, let's say just giraffes. So if giraffes keep reproducing, the tall ones are going to live and the short ones are going to die if the food is up higher. So the ones that adapt and to get that characteristic are more likely to survive. And sickness. And what I mean by sicknesses are like with us with the flu, your body has antibodies, creates antibodies to fight the flu if it were to be seen again. Natural selection was discovered by Charles Darwin, and beneficial characteristics are passed down from the parent to the offspring. Like I was saying with the giraffes, if a tall giraffe is likely to survive, that'll be passed down from the parent to the offspring. Just a couple examples, as I mentioned already, the giraffes, neck heights, red bugs and green bugs. An example like this is like in the forest, there's red bugs, green bugs. Let's say certain animals like to eat the green bugs. So then as the green bug numbers go down, the red bug numbers go up because they keep reproducing and nothing is going after them. Humans is a good example, and sharks. As you see in this picture, the top of the shark is a blue-gray, which when you're looking from above, it makes it harder to see them. And they have a white underside, as you can see. And if you're looking below up, there's all the light from the sun, and that white really blends in. Evolution versus natural selection. Evolution, as I mentioned, is the change in characteristics of a population over generations, even multiple generations. And natural selection is the survival and reproduction of individuals due to certain factors. And a couple of those factors I mentioned earlier are like predators, or depending on how much is in their population. I had a couple questions and found some interesting facts along the way while making this. One question for myself is why evolution and natural selection to do this on. Through this coronavirus pandemic, a lot of people have been bringing up the word natural selection, or I've heard a few people bring it up, and I just thought it was interesting because we're talking about that in class, and that how we create like antibodies for the flu to fight it off when we see it. It's just interesting seeing how everything plays out. I learned that there is a mouse that is immune to poison now. It's the Algerian mice, and they have a small amount of natural vitamin K, which makes them and helps them be immune. So I learned that. And then, how is natural selection related to genetics? Individuals with other and certain genotypes to survive, reproduce, and then pass it on to the next generation. So as I was mentioning, that parent to offspring, if they have something that's beneficial, like a long neck height or the color of the top of the shark and the underbelly of the shark, that will get passed down from the parent to the offspring, and it just keeps going through generation and generation. And yeah, the resources I used were the class notes, class videos, Google Images, and then for the facts I found those on Google.